4, 3, 2, 1.
TrojanVision is the week that was, covering the news and events for the week ending Friday, October 25th, 2019. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, we learned this week that a second Troy fraternity has been suspended for the rest of the fall semester. The announcement was made Thursday afternoon regarding the end of the investigation into Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity. Brady Talbert has the story.
Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance.
That is what Troy University's Dean of Student Services, Herbert Reeves, said was the school's policy in regards to hazing within the Greek system. Late last month, Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity was temporarily suspended while being investigated by the university and the National Deke organization following allegations of
sleep deprivation, excessive calisthenics, the use of alcohol,
which both organizations deemed to be true. At a press conference on Thursday, the university announced Deke will be suspended until the end of the fall semester and will be reevaluated before all sanctions are lifted.
It's open-ended right now. We've not put a definitive date that come December the 31st or January the 8th when we resume classes that the suspension will be lifted.
This falls after the suspension of Sigma Chi fraternity, which received the same disciplinary actions.
I think with Sigma Chi you had more individual members that were doing things on their own. With Deke, it seemed to be more of a chapter issue.
And while Reeves says Deke will have to take a different approach to fix its chapter's culture, he says hazing is not tolerated within all fraternities at Troy. He sees it as outdated and dangerous.
I mean, there's just no place for it in the fraternity life anymore. I mean, what was done years ago and may have been a rite of passage years ago is not there. There's other things.
Every year, the Hall School of Journalism and Communication hosts a day that gives high school students the opportunity to tour Troy University's journalism department, get a taste of what the school offers, and learn ways to better their own programs. Cody Giles has the story.
Journalism Day, or J-Day as it's more commonly referred. This is a time for students from all over the state of Alabama, and now some from Florida, to visit Troy's campus and see what the Hall School of Journalism and Communication has in store.
This is a way for high school students who are interested in journalism to come and see what we have to offer, see what kind of scholarships are available, and what some of the real-world hands-on things they can do when they get to us.
This is a great way for us to give back to the high schoolers and get them excited about their future careers. We're here to give them those skills to get moving on that right career path, and then hopefully also have them choose Troy University as their college as well.
During J-Day, students like the ones behind me here have the unique experience of figuring out exactly what Troy University has to offer. From photography to radio to broadcast journalism, there's something for all aspiring journalism students to enjoy.
I honestly love it. I feel like I'm gaining real life experiences and things that I'll be able to experience here in college because I do want to come to Troy.
So far it's been pretty good. I liked all the things I went to, and in the most recent one, session 2, I got to use the microphone and act like I was on a radio station.
I want to come here because I think it's like a good workshop so far, and so far I'm enjoying my experience.
It's been great to be a part of this and to truly see the excitement in their eyes when they come in and learn new things, and to have such a wide diversity of people from a wide diversity of backgrounds to be able to teach these students has really been great to be able to have an impact on their futures.
Every spring, Troy University students travel to Montgomery to participate in the Higher Education Day rally to advocate for more funding for universities. However, planning for that event happens well in advance of the big day. Aaron Dixon introduced us to 2 Troy students who handle those duties on campus.
Students Towards a Real Solution is a committee led by Ashlyn Kelly and Matt Dollar, and they are talking to legislators and trying to get Troy a fair share of the education budget.
So what Matt and I do, I serve as the chair for the STARS committee, and Matt Dollar serves as my co-chair. And what we're doing is we're constantly meeting with our legislators, letting them know what we're doing right here at Troy, letting them know about our students, what programs we offer, and how we're advancing as a university.
Higher Education Day is not until the spring, but Kelly and Dollar are constantly talking to legislators, telling them about all that this university has to offer and telling them why it has become their second home.
We want to not only be able to advocate for Troy getting their fair share of things. We feel like that's more important than higher ed in general, because we feel like Troy has a lot going for it.
One of the main focuses for this year's STAR committee is looking at Troy and really selling Troy to legislators and showing the legislators what Troy has to offer.
And I really think it's important that Troy gets their fair share of money from the education budget, but also I feel like it's important that Troy is recognized. I feel like it's important that people know about Troy.
Kelly and Dollar are also building relationships with the legislators that will hopefully help Troy and future STAR committees in the future.
Let them know how Troy has positively impacted our lives so that they will give us more funding in the future. So we want to build a working relationship with these representatives, with these senators, so that way they will have us in their mind when they're cutting that budget.
Higher Education Day will take place in the spring, and Troy students will be given the opportunity to attend and fight for a fair share. Aaron Dixon, Troy, TrojanVision News.
While Trojan Arena has seen plenty of action in the past few weeks from the Trojan volleyball team, a different level of competition took place on the floor this past Saturday, one involving robots. Cody Giles explains.
Troy University hosted the Best Robotics competition this past Saturday in the Trojan Arena. 17 teams from both the Wiregrass Best and Troy Best Robotics came together to show off the work that they had put in for the past 42 days.
They had to construct a robot to complete the task at hand on the field behind me of repairing an international power grid failure.
Though this is a robotics competition, teams are not only judged on the performance of their robot, but a few other areas as well. These include
an engineering notebook, a marketing presentation, a team exhibit and interview, a spirit and sportsmanship booth, as well as their robot performance.
The robotics portion is only 15 points out of the possible 100. The notebook is worth 30. The marketing presentation, which we did yesterday, was worth 25. And the marketing booth is worth 20.
Well, this is the first time we teamed two hubs up, Troy Hub and Wiregrass Hubs. Just seeing all the kids be able to see all the hours they put in to be able to see the culmination of their activities. Just like to say thanks to the sponsors, thanks for BEST for providing this opportunity to the students.
The regional competition will be held at Auburn University in the Beard Eves Memorial Coliseum on December 7th and 8th. It is open to the public. Cody Giles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll see how Troy Student Government Association plans to honor victims of breast cancer. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
You might start on a Troy campus or at your kitchen table. Wherever you start, you'll be more than a student. You'll be part of the Troy family, armed with the education, values, and skills you need to succeed. Ready to lead today's global workforce. No challenge will feel impossible. No dream will be out of reach, because we will be with you all the way. Trojan Warriors, one and all.
Troy University Student Government Association is providing a way for students to show their support for victims of breast cancer next week. Jessica Phillips has that story.
The Student Government Association discussed homecoming ballots during Tuesday night's meeting. Director of Representation Nicole J. John encourages students, no matter how minute the election is, it's still important for students to exercise their rights to vote.
It's really important for students to exercise their right to vote just so they can be a part of that, because it is the representation for their student body for this homecoming that we have.
Along with discussing homecoming ballots, a tent provided by the SGA and the Constitutional and Rules Committee was brought up. This tent is for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and will give students the opportunity to sign one's name who has suffered from breast cancer.
They have a loved one or a student or anyone they know that has suffered from breast cancer before or has breast cancer now. We'd love for them to write the name of that individual down on the bow. We'll also have little small bows that we'll be passing out. The students can put on their backpacks, on their clothing.
SGA passed several resolutions associated within the organization itself, as in bills must be signed by the President, Executive Vice President, and Chairman of the Constitution and Rules Committee head. Also, the Compass International Club was approved in Tuesday night meeting and is the first club chartered within the university. Jessica Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
On Wednesday, Troy University Library's Remnant Trust Lecture Series continued with a focus on science and religion. Claudia Peppenhorst has the story.
One's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. These are the wise words of Oliver Wendell Holmes. The Troy University Library hosted another lecture pertaining to the Remnant Trust series on Wednesday afternoon.
We're having another one in a series of lectures we've had connected to our Remnant Trust exhibit. Today's speaker is Dr. John Kressler from Georgia Tech University.
Kressler wanted to enforce the idea to young adults that science and religion are not related but can coexist.
I'm looking at the intersection between science and religion, particularly as it relates to our modern world. I'm going to make the argument that science and religion are not fundamentally opposed to one another, and that synthesis actually is what folks, particularly young folks, should be thinking hard about.
The lecture encouraged students to look at the world in different perspectives and broaden their minds. The next Remnant Trust lecture will be October 30th at 9 a.m. in the Wallace Hall Library to discuss the Emancipation Proclamation. Claudia Peppenhorst, Troy, TrojanVision News.
University police officers were a common sight around campus. However, most students may not realize what their day-to-day duties are. Daisy Ling spoke with one of the members of the university police to get a better idea of what he and his fellow officers do for the university.
Kevin Street, a campus police officer at Troy University and also a state police. You may be familiar with the police, but they are actually doing more work than most people think.
We don't just go and arrest folk. That's just a small part of our job. A lot of times I'm helping the folks with the security and the traffic writing parking tickets. We have buildings here I have to be responsible for. We've got assets running into the millions of dollars that I'm responsible for.
Street used to be a lawyer and holds a doctorate. He says, surprisingly, many people think the police officer is undereducated or poorly educated.
In Chatham County, Georgia, at one point, 6 out of the 8 departments over there had lawyer cops.
Kevin Street is certified by Alabama Post and Georgia Post. Recently, on his day off, he completed family domestic violence seminar for his Georgia Post hours.
Georgia Post and Alabama Post hold records on every single sworn police officer.
Mr. Street says parking is the most common issue on campus, and they have to deal with many other situations.
We have had situations where we've had fires and we weren't able to get the vehicles up. People were parked in the fire lanes because everybody wants to park at the front door. My sole concern on this campus is to keep it safe for the students, keep it safe for the faculty. Those people who want to come and cause trouble on campus, I want to get rid of them.
Although he said that being a police officer was not an easy job, he is still proud of it. Daisy Lun, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Photography and dance combined for a show this weekend on campus. Allison Polk gives us a look at Troy Dance Department's production of Art in Motion.
Tuesday night, Troy's Dance and Theater Department were putting the finishing touches on their new dance show, Art in Motion, which is a collaborative effort between many different majors at Troy University.
Previously, when we've done Art in Motion, we pulled from works of art like photographs, and then last year we had artists who would work with us and create something together. But this year we used photographs that photographers had already taken. So we were sent a bunch of pictures and we were able to choose from them, and then we created a piece based on how we felt by that picture.
The dance department not only used photographs taken by students as inspiration, but also got the theater department involved to create this unique and dynamic show.
For me personally, being a theater major and not having a whole bunch of dance experience in the past, I'm so humbled to be here, and so I want to make sure that the choreographers who are trusting me to be on stage and do their piece and stuff like that, I want to make sure that I get it right and do it to the best of my ability.
While Art in Motion is a chance for the community to see the talent of all the dancers, it is also an opportunity for students to learn new skills like creating choreography.
I'm really excited to debut my choreographic work. This is a huge main stage show, and I'm very nervous for the audience to see it, but I hope that the audience really smiles when they see my piece. I feel like my piece is very uplifting and happy. It's interesting getting to explore my work as a choreographer instead of a dancer, because they're two completely different roles.
The first show will be on Thursday at 7 o'clock. You can buy tickets to Art in Motion at the box office or online at troytheater.org. Allison Polk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how one Troy student turned a hobby into business. That's coming up after this, so stay tuned.
Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Young people go to college to get an education that will help them eventually get a job in their chosen field. However, for one Troy student, a hobby that started while she was in school has turned into a lucrative business. Madison Gallagher introduces us to the college entrepreneur.
Have you ever wanted to turn a passion into your profession? Abby Lee has done just that by being more than the girl behind the camera. From capturing moments from graduations to weddings, she's done it all at just 20 years old.
I started shooting when I was 16 years old. My dad bought me my first little baby Canon camera, and ever since then people started noticing my work on social media and stuff, and so they would ask me if I could do senior pictures or family pictures, and then it really turned into a business. Really within this past year, I got my business license, a new camera, I have 7 upcoming weddings, and I'm working with a lot of seniors and local businesses downtown, and I also work with Troy Life that's through the Messenger.
Abby Lee continues to prove if you pick a job you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
I've worked a lot with, casual photos as far as senior pictures, family portraits, and weddings, but I really like to dive deeper into more fashion and editorial shoots.
Starting with capturing pictures of friends on the weekends for fun to working with well-known fashion brands such as Judith March, Abby Lee has taken her creativity and portfolio to a whole new level.
When I was nominated for Troy Life's 20 Under 40 edition, I was very surprised but very honored, because that means that people are starting to notice my work and really want to book me for their pictures, and it meant a lot when I was nominated and got the article.
If you're looking to have some photos done in the upcoming weeks, you can contact Abby Lee by visiting her Instagram at AbbyLeePhotog. Madison Gallagher, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University students had the chance to learn about Vietnam as a pair of international student groups came together for a night of cultural education. Carrie Lee has the story.
International Student Cultural Organization and Vietnamese Student Association hosted a Vietnam Night on Thursday. They introduced Vietnam culture and different parts of Vietnam.
Tonight activities we talk about Vietnam culture, how Vietnam looks like, different part of Vietnam, and we have some interaction game with other people to talk about to get people know more about Vietnam. Also, we bring some food and the Vietnamese coffee.
People enjoy delicious food and they had a great experience in this night.
It was really nice. I really like Vietnamese culture and Vietnamese food, so it was really nice to have like a little thing for them. It was really cute.
Oh, I thought it was fun. We played some games and you got to win some prizes. And I really thought that the presentation was really neat, and I thought the food was good.
Participants learn more about Vietnam, such as the demographic composition and cities.
I was surprised that there's 96 million people that live in Vietnam approximately, and that Ho Chi Minh City is the largest city in Vietnam.
I'm trying to go visit that bridge with the hands. I really want to go see that one. That looked really cool. It looked like something out of a movie, honestly.
Carrie Lee, TrojanVision News.
The University Activity Council's $2 movie night takes place on 2 Wednesdays each month. However, this week things got a little spooky. Stuart Bradley has the story.
To some, it's scarier than Pennywise, more terrifying than a horde of zombies, and maybe more disturbing than the Joker. Paying full price for movie tickets. But luckily, the UAC was able to fix that last night for a special Halloween-themed $2 movie night, where students were encouraged to dress up in their Halloween attire.
Well, $2 movie night tonight is very special because it is Halloween themed. Mr. Jeff, who is over the movie theater, encouraged all of the students to come dressed in costumes, so we should be seeing some interesting costumes tonight. He's also giving away free M&Ms to people who are dressed up or who have costumes on, so I think that's really, really inviting and really special and centered around the theme of Halloween.
For the price of 2 pumpkin decorations from the dollar store, students had access to an array of scary movies. From classics such as George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead as a double feature, to many recently released tales of horror.
Zombieland, with the first one being released like 10 years ago, I believe. I'm a sequel guy, so I'm hoping they do it justice.
I like $2 movie night because it's cheaper, and I want to see Maleficent really bad.
The Joker, and everybody wants to come see that, and that also aligns with the theme of Halloween, and we have 2 double feature Halloween movies that you get to watch for the price of 1.
And while not everybody dressed up for movie night, many are dead set on what to dress up for next week's big holiday.
I really want to be Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, I'm going to be Shaggy, and the lovely lady over there is going to be Scooby.
I'm going to be me. I feel like the best thing to be right now for Halloween, in my case, is to be myself.
With a selection of scary movies, candy, and costumes, and with the holiday just a week away, it seems the Halloween spirit is in full swing. Reporting's in my costume, Stuart Bradley, Troy, TrojanVision News.
It's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about new ways Troy is advising freshmen. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
At Troy University, we offer military students more than just flexibility and convenience. We offer top-ranked programs that are an investment in your future. And like the military, you'll be part of something. A powerful network of more than 158,000 alumni worldwide. And we will be with you all the way. Proudly serving our military since 1950. Trojan Warriors, one and all.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
This fall, Troy University's freshmen will have a different level of advisement during their first year. We'll learn more about the advising changes in this week's Trojan Talk.
Hello and welcome
welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Hal Fulmer, Associate Provost here at Troy University, here to talk about advisement from freshmen. Here, wearing the hat of the Center for Student Success here, talking about freshman advisement. Thanks for joining me here today.
Absolutely, Aaron. Good to be with you. Always glad to talk about what we're doing in the center.
And of course, the center we're talking about today is freshman advisement. And this is something new that's happening this year, that a new twist on advising the freshman class coming in here. So tell us a little about what's going on this year.
Sure. We're going to bring all the freshmen into the center for what we would call operational advising. We're not asking them to have a major different than what they want. They certainly will have a faculty advisor that we think can play a much better role, talking about career choices, talking about pathways. But that real operational piece, you know, the issues of deadlines, the issues of financial aid, the issues of drop an ad, all those things, all of that we're going to take care of in the center. So if you're a freshman, that means 30 or less hours. Your operational advisor, the one you got to see that's going to handle all the paperwork, is going to take place in the center. And we're advising conditionally admitted, developmentally placed, undeclared. Now we have everybody else, and that's a national trend. There was a time period when all the freshmen came through a portal. Yeah. Then we went away from it, and now you can see a national trend coming back.
And so why is it important to try to initiate this and bring this back into the fold?
You know, because really what we're dealing with anymore with freshmen are transitional issues. You got to navigate the transition, and you know, there's a lot of good that takes place in those years leading up to college, but there are a lot of pieces that really don't prepare you. The speed of the game is different. The fact that you've got to take a lot of ownership of issues is different. And so when you put people in the center as the advising process, then we're open, you know, 8 to 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night sometimes, you know, Monday to Friday. We're always on call. A faculty member, as good as that person might be as an advisor, is also teaching, researching, has service commitments. Our focus can be help the student. And so we think by doing that, we will hopefully be ahead of and take care of a lot of problems.
And of course, being at the center and seeing that advisement, there's also opportunities with some of the other elements of the center to be able to point students in directions outside of advisement that could help them make some of those transitional changes as well.
Imagine if you get a student who says, in a part of that, they go, I'm having a little trouble in a writing class or a math class. You go right around the corner, here's the Learning Center with Trish Harris and her team. Or the student goes, I'm just not real sure about my major. We're going to go right around the corner to Lauren Cole and the careers team. So, you know, when we created that center under Dr. Schmidt's leadership, which is why his name is on it, we talked about the one-stop shop. This is that one-stop shop. If you come in the door, we're going to really help you. And maybe we're going to help you think through some things that you just need time to think through. So that's part of that getting ahead of the issue.
And I know when the first year studies program was established and the center was established, a lot of focus and a lot of things were brought up about retention and making sure that these students make it through that first year. And obviously I would think this is just another step in maintaining that retention, because I know retention is a big issue in higher education.
Oh, it is. And I think without a doubt, students retain when students feel connected and engaged. So you can engage on the campus in a lot of ways, in the classroom, in extracurricular clubs and organizations, but that center is an opportunity to engage on a regular basis. In a given year, we can document almost 55,000 student visits on a campus that has about 8,000 or 9,000 students. So we know students are coming, and what we want to do is get them to connect, and the more they connect and engage, the greater the likelihood is they retain and progress.
And you mentioned there that this is not going to take away the faculty advisement.
That's right.
And this is, and it's just kind of a transition phase in between those. And even a student who declares right away, how is that going to work within between advisement there and the faculty advisement?
Right.
So
we don't want to change that. They go and can have all the conversation they want, but the ability to set the schedule, to lift the holes, if you will, all of that's going to happen in the center so that there's a common place for all the freshmen. We're working with the different departments. Student planning is such an assist for that. We can see what's needed. I've said to the faculty, if there are particular things that you want to talk about that would help in the curriculum planning, just tell us. We're going to take that load for you so that when we deliver that student back to you, we've got a solid first year and that makes life a lot easier for the next 3 or 4.
And not to mention that first year, primarily general studies, and a lot of it's probably not getting into the major curriculum at all there.
That's right. And in some cases, helping students stay out of trouble by getting into general studies and not wandering off into courses that they don't need. You know, financial aid's not going to pay for it if it's not in the degree path. There are a lot of places, if you don't know what you're doing as a brand new student, that you can make mistakes. And if we can get ahead of some of those, it's going to make a difference.
And those students can obviously take advantage of this by stopping by the center and Elders Hall at any time.
Just come by and see us anytime. The door is open. We're there, and we've got all of the students that are freshmen divided alpha, so we know who they belong to as a lead advisor, but all of the advisors are trained up so that if you walk in and your advisor's at lunch, we're still going to help you.
All right, well, here's hoping students take advantage of it and keep those students here at Troy. Thanks for joining me today, Hal. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's the week that was. To find out what's happening on a daily basis, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or follow us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Until next time, have a good week.